mind, the question is, what were the three biggest mistakes made by the previous operations? The pipeline has been finalized, team has been deployed to put the place in check and the relative lessons in. By as one, the non-identification of handlers by the operational team, because it's a community. The there's no need about clean up. We are operational personnel. We are mandated to address an issue that is bothering the nation. Talking about pipeline finance. So I mean, we have to tackle that issue. Whether there is delay, the aftermath engagement, we address all of that. But for us to do that issue on that share, we have to use the community approach, community engagement approach. So far, so good. I think that's where our group.
So far, so good. If I go with that, then any question for the group for noting? Okay, please.
Good morning, all. My name is Kunile Johnson. As a security man, when you get an assignment of such, when you get to the community, what first did you do? Will you do to identify place location in such incidents?
Correct. Noted. Thank you. Yes. You want to ask a question? Okay, please do. Then, as soon as you finish your question, your group continues.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
I am Roland Bindi, coordinator from Ogola Kingdom.
I think inside the scenario, while he was speaking, he talked about jamming of boats, and I think it was the speed of the boat that really crashed the king. My question to him: were there any safety concerns or neglect of safety, maritime safety, during that action? Thank you
Very good. Noted. Okay.
Good morning, all. I'm S. Daniel Sabo. Three mistakes we observed from the incident. Let me quickly go because we don't have grammars. One of the mistakes is the team fails to identify the threats before inventing the community. They could not identify the threats. They just go in and confess. Innocent civilian with brutal, which is a very big mistake. Identifying a threat is very important before engaging any location that is where there is hostile. Secondly, they failed to identify the leadership of that community. They could not create civil military relationship. They could not create that. As a result, everything went wrong. Thirdly, thirdly, there was a lack of prompt from them to respond to the spirit and clean before any other thing could have affect the livelihood of the community. So the prompt action affected a lot of livelihood of the community. The second question said we should design a plan, 3 plans in our next 30 days of that as an advisory committee. One of the plans we will first design is to create a civil military relationship with the community. Once we create a civil military relationship with the community, one of our problems is solved. The community will help us to identify the vandals. They will help us to identify the threats, and we will engage them accordingly. Secondly, we'll create a maritime safety management team
Noted. Good question. Noted. Right.
Okay. For the group, we're able to identify 3 problems with the security intervention in the area which the leakage was noticed. And the number 1 mistake we noticed is the flood threat analysis. Flood threat analysis. Because if you study the way description of how the security forces operated within the community, you will know that they would have assessed the threat level to be critical, red, and they operated from that direction. And that is one of the flaws we noticed. But of course, before any operation is taken, like we touched, definitely there has to be that involves stress analysis and all of that. So yes, that's the first one we noticed. Then we also noticed, like some of our also try to a flawed civil military cooperation. That is a flawed military and civil military cooperation, that is a negative civil military relationship. If we were to delve deeper into the conversation of civil military relationship, for those of us who know it, it's negative positive. So I think that the initial one they had became with is the negative civil military cooperation. And that's what that. So a flawed civil military cooperation, which is important to a lot of science. They did not discuss with anybody, just went in, conclude style. So the third problem we noticed is that system like flawed threat analysis. They improve hostile taxes, because of course they were guided by flawed threat analysis. So those are the 3 problems we were able to identify. Then for the solutions, given that we have a 30-day plan, the first thing we think should be done, the first on the list, is to de-escalate hostilities immediately. That is, the modus operandi should immediately stop. Because while they are trying to gain the community confidence, for example, you can't still continue with that pattern and still want to talk to them. They won't listen to you. So first, you have to stop, you have to de-escalate the hostilities. Then the second part is joint problem solving, which now involves the meeting with the community, with the security forces and those who are going to intervene. The idea is that for that meeting to also be successful and for the people to come out, first, we believe that there has to be an acknowledgement of wrong done by the security forces and an apology. It will open the hearts of the people to listen. And after that, the conversation definitely will also do more of listening of the community people, because we have done our worst and we have not gotten the results. So we will do more of the listening, and especially to the elder who reached out. We will also be part of the meeting, and we'll try and build this joint problem solving, and by also incorporating them into the security architecture. So the last one, we believe that we have to deliver tangible support. Of course, those boats that were destroyed, we will definitely have to intervene and get them back. and those whose livelihood have been affected will give them some form of relief just to ensure. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. Question and notice. All right.
Good morning. I'm Ibrahim Bayane from Corridor 2 River State. My question goes straight to the last speaker. We are talking of the security force that come to do their work. They cannot just go to any community and do their work. It is the government that gives them the task. Government is able to identify the problem before sending the security. So you cannot blame the security. Security are doing their work.
Another young will generate a lot of discussion. All right, switch off, switch off. That last one will generate discussion.
You failed in that aspect, but most other things you dealt with were fine, reasonably fine. I'm not going to go into that. Your solutions were hypothetical. They're not real. You have points, but make it, apply it. We will do this. Okay? We are going to engage in this. This, when you're trying to identify the problem, properly identify it. Most of you, okay, let me just run through this. Group 2, same thing. You guys also did not situate yourself properly. Group 3, you try to situate yourself in the situation. But most of you, because what comes back to most of you are just taking intelligence failure. When you say intelligence failure, how? Is it intelligence failure like this last person that asked question said? You must decide. There are things that you can do. There are things that others will do. Something that is beyond you. You can say it. This one is beyond us. We are going to liaise with maybe the federal government or the JTF or whoever to do this. It's not everything you can do. Like someone said, you need to gather intelligence. Who gathers that intelligence? You, that is just constituted as a task force to move in. You understand? It's not just theory. If you are talking about intelligence, they should have had intelligence. And who gathers that intelligence before you are taxed on a mission? You are going based on intelligence. Sometimes it's to confirm what information they have. Sometimes it's to go, if you are going, your mission is to go and extract information. It will be clear. But what this scenario gave is a little bit different. Let me not waste time on that. Group 4, you didn't situate yourself. You said team failed to identify threats. How? You are going on a mission. The place is very threatened. What threat don't you identify? Okay? Don't be theoretical. If you define the threat, is that what you want to go and identify? Is that your mission? If it's your mission, by going there with peoples and destroying this, is that the way to get to achieve that mission? Create civil military relationship with community. How? This is group 4. That is you. Civil military relationship, you must tell. But you may not know everything now. This lecture will tell you. Those things may the last group 6, I think they tried to bring up some things in that area. But one thing that is certain, I think group 4, you said it, that is the group that you see that group? Okay, no, that is my own point. But one other group that said, I think group 5 or so, you need an SOP to guide your operations. If what you have already is not good enough, then you have to improve it. Group 6 said that too. You need a standard operating procedure. We failed. I've not told you people that story. When I was in Warri as a sub-lieutenant, I carried boat out. On my way back, I enjoyed speeding along the channel. Poor SOP. When I speed and I see the cable stumbling, I feel very happy. Statistic. But that is useful experience. So if the SOP tells you that you don't speed beyond a certain knot within the channel, you must abide by that. Even if you are going on operations. Now, if there is need for that to be changed, then SOP will be reversed. So please note that what is the leader distrust? It's true. You must fight against, you must balance these things. Now, dealing with fixing, yes, but not only fixing. I think yesterday we talked something, I'm sure today we will be discussing. A lot of times, what these leaders do, they have their hidden agenda. So you must be able to, this is where we are talking about intelligence. If you are talking about, when we talk about intelligence, a lot of you use it. But what is the intelligence requirement? You must have it. That's why I'm talking about direction. You don't just say intelligence everywhere. Or can we identify some other youths or women that are influential apart from Dixon? Go and get intelligence in that area. That is intelligence. Do you understand? Yes, sir. All right. Okay, most of you again. Then, truly, I think the last people, de-escalating strategy, very good. Joint problem solving, very good. Acknowledgement of wrongdoing. You are not the one that did wrong, are you? So what are you acknowledging? All right. So I'm sure the facilitator will do more to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Making it more enlightening. All right. The essence of this case is to arouse our consciousness on what is happening around us. I'm sure we already noticed that the things happening, Abi.
Yes, sir.
And the Olobi communities are hypothetical communities. If there's any name of anybody that is such community, I apologize. I don't know that such community exists. I just, postulate anything. So when there is anyone that is from any community like that, please, I apologize. It is not to run down any particular community. And Partixing is not also anybody's name. It's just hypothetical. So, but the most important thing we must take away from that is that the community is not going to be our enemy. They are our partners in survival. Abi, one of my friends has a question here that the government should have engaged in the intelligence of the government. It is the government, not the security officer. Please, sir, you are an agent of the government. So you are the government. The respect you get from the people is not the people you are wearing. It's because you are representing the government. You are the government. Because you are an establishment of the law. So when you show up, you say government agent here. And we give you that regard. So don't see government as one thing that is far away. This is government. Yes. This is government. So don't isolate yourself and say government is far away. So quickly, definition of that military threats and all that, we look at that. Importance of community involvement, role of local communities in pipeline security, benefit of community engagement, historical context of community involvement. That's exactly what we looked at in the case of Ololobi. Good. Now, what strategies? Strategies for engaging communities. One, educational program about pipeline security. Please, you see, sometimes some of these people in this community don't actually know that it is a wrong thing. Are you aware that armed robbers sometimes they think it's a business? So they go also. Now also, Abi, for it's an illegal household. So the community deserve the right to understand. And those of us that are charged with this responsibility of protecting these pipelines, we have the right to educate the communities on what? Pipeline security. Tell them the danger of vandalizing pipeline. Okay, look at the Olobi community for instance. Olobi community used to be a very public community. Of course, if you are from the riverine area, you understand what a riverine public community is. Our life is the river. The river is our life. We put there, we drink the water. Do you understand that? So it is integrated. The river is part of who we are. I jokingly tell people that we all have marine spirits. Those of us from the riverine area. Because it is true. The river feeds us. We also in turn feed the river. So it's a symbiotic relationship. But look at it. The children go to the river to play. I grew up around there. Our day is not complete if we don't go to the river to swim. For those of you that grew up around Samuel area. You want to just jump into the water, swim, play around and all that. That is our life. But by the time the activity of pipeline vandalism comes, it stifles us of who we are. It removes that our genuinity from us. When the children are playing with joy, we are playing with the river. Because that's our nature, right? So if we don't understand, we will think that pipeline vandalism is a business. So it's our responsibility as officers charged with protecting these pipelines to educate the community. Now that is question. Take your mind to the past. Those children they play for this water before, where are they? Somebody said something yesterday, I think it's you. Mosquito. I grew up seeing mosquito as a normal thing by the river bank. Normal, just very normal. We don't eat it, so it's always populated. But at the point in time, where is mosquito? For those of us that understand environmental science here, it has an impact ecologically. It has a role it's playing in the community. But pipeline vitalism has thrown everyone off, even all of them. What about periwinkle? In primary school, I grew up going to the camp to go and pick periwinkle, to come and sell the Warri and make money to pay school fees. And when periwinkle became gold. Why? Because of what? Pipeline vandalism. But the old women that rely on this economy are not the ones benefiting from these acts. And are we seeing the danger in it now? The young guys that will come from nowhere and go and break the thing and go to city and go and buy big house, big cars, and living flamboyantly. But the mama and the papas that are in that community to use this thing to earn a living can no longer earn a living. How much are you going to give to them? And when are you going to bring that one? Maybe once in a while you give a bag of rice and salt and 20,000 naira. Mama happy they sing for you. When are you coming with that again? So they need to understand that pipeline vandalism is a threat to their survival. I believe it's a threat to my survival because I am from the riverine communities. And if I believe it's a threat to my survival, I will support you to protect it. But if I see you as a threat, what will I do? Naturally, I will create a fence. Naturally, I will create a defense. Naturally, I will debar you from coming close because I am seeing you now as a threat, not the acts. You are coming to stop vandals, but your approach is showing to me that you are coming for my life. And don't also think that the vandals don't talk to the communities. They also talk to the communities. But when I go where they take on this, they get inside and around this. Now we get it, who takes one side? None of us get that. Now Abuja, the reason they build Abuja, that is education, And somebody talk about negative relationship here, Jonathan. That is communication, that is education, but it's a negative one. They are giving a negative orientation. Let us do this in school. Your responsibility is to tell them and paint the picture of how dangerous it is. How dangerous this thing is. I saw a video, for those of you that know me, I almost cried yesterday. I saw a video of the sea surging into the and cutting almost everywhere of the house. And you think pipeline vandalism is not part of it? It is part of it. Because it's climate change. And OE is being consumed by the sea as we speak to you now. Do you understand? You won't understand it if you don't know this environment. But if you are part of it, you feel it. You feel it. So we need to educate the people about the security of our pipelines. What about the danger in it? As you are taking these things are very inflammable, Abi. Yes. What about the danger? These people may not even know the danger. They may not know the danger. We want to educate them. Collaboration with local leaders and organizations like Elder Dixon and the likes. Yes, I agree that Elder Dixon is the elder of the community. But I would be able to deduce sufficient intel to inform us that Elder Dixon is also trusted by the people. Element of trust, have you? How trustworthy is he? How is he able to galvanize the community? If he speaks, does the community follow? That's a question you want to ask. I have a local radio station in this town, and as a result of the local radio station, some people came together and set up an association. So this morning, just before I left, somebody called me and was giving me a report that the association that was set up as a result of the local radio station, some people have created a cartel in that association. Which means that others that are not in that cartel don't trust the leadership of that association. But why are they saying that? Because recently I gave them something, I gave them some rice to share. I said, okay, maybe we can take this. But the rice didn't go down to everybody. So the guy said, okay, next time they bring this thing, I may not give them all. Call us one by one and give us. Which means there is no more what? Trust. So, but these are the things your intel will reveal. So you cannot be a security operative without some element of, some strength to work with intel, whether formal or informal intel. Sometimes you can even sponsor a drug to go into a community and be drinking ogogoro, but it's gathering intel. I'll tell you what happened in South Africa not too long while I was there, while I was schooling there. There was this issue of Nigerians doing drugs. Nigerians were doing drugs and it was becoming a problem in the country. You know, and so at the point in time, the ambassador there was my friend, you know, retired now, was my very good friend. So we were talking. I said, Your Excellency, why would not put some intel among these people? Let's sponsor somebody that will be selling sweets, all those small things, open a small kiosk among them where they do the business. We'll be able to know the people that are doing these things. And we open a small kiosk by proxy. We put somebody there, the person was doing normal business. They sell all those small things, cigar, sweet, raw, and all those things. But it was gathering intel. At the end of the day, we knew all the Nigerians that were doing drugs. So we're able coming to hide it in the shop. Because when police come to raid, they don't go there. But police already know that that's our agent. So not going there is creating trust for the person. So everybody knew that police don't go there. Police don't go there to raid. So when they see that police will be coming like this, they will all run and go and hide their markets. They call it markets. They will hide their market there. And the hide their market there is getting their information. He's knowing everybody that is doing everything. And when we finish all the intel, those people were rounded up and deported. Simply because they were giving us bad news. So, as a security agent, you must get formal or informal intel. Intel is not something you just do that. You just say, okay, this is an intelligence officer, so don't go there. Then a real badge, an intelligence officer, you don't get anything. So you must covertly and overtly gather intel to ensure that you collaborate effectively with local leaders and their organizations. You see, when America sent some of these organizations to Nigeria, forget that, or sent to other African countries, UNICEF, how can all those things? They are gathering intelligence. USA even do a lot of things. I'm not talking about. You know, they are gathering intelligence. They know what is happening in those places. And they are collaborating where necessary. So let us collaborate with local people to enhance our job. We cannot do this job by fighting these people. That's the example of what happened with Ololomi community. You know, Ololomi community, we cannot do this job by fighting with these communities. But we can do this job well by collaborating with these communities. Because the truth is that they know their terrain more than you. He said something yesterday that in his own area, that he grew up in that area, he knows the terrain. So if you're going to send one general from Abuja, he can just come out speak English, go. He's not going to know anything except what they want him to know. The one they don't want him to know, they will get him out of it. So Ghanaian and Shira, they don't enter here, they don't die. Yesterday, the person died. I said, okay, let's go. But the whole thing they said that. So let's create collaboration with the local community, establish community watch group. Small group, vigilante, some kind of things. You are doing it to protect the community, but you are also doing it to get your information. Abi? You are telling them you are protecting them. As a matter of fact, you can trigger enemy against the community and protect the community. Again. So as the person came, before you know that this, you come and you do it and kill everybody to the oil. They run away. You are the champion of that community. Now you the leader. Anytime you come, hey, Chairman don't come. You know, so let's establish community watch that will help us get relevant information. Surveillance techniques and community role. Technology used for monitoring pipelines, how civilians can assist in surveillance. These are all what we discussed yesterday, so I wouldn't go into that in detail this morning. Surveillance technique, while NCDC and TANTITA utilize technology such as drone for surveillance, civilians can assist by observing and reporting unusual activities. You cannot be everywhere at every time. Let the local man do local job. Not tell the local man that you know pastor, because there is something he knows that you don't know. There is something he's always going to know that you will never know. It's his domain. It's his place. He lives and drinks and shit inside the same water. You know, nowadays when civilization don't come. You go fresh water from far place. You go river do one like this. Brother, it's not like you fresh water, you don't clean that. Huh? No, civilization don't come now. You die now. You know, so the locals can do physical activity, establish clear reporting mechanism, encourage community members to share information quickly and effectively. There is what we call anonymous information sharing. Now, if you don't want the community members to feel threatened, establish an anonymous information sharing system for which he can reach you, but you don't know who is reaching you. Now, are you getting that? Now, maybe you give him a phone line, or maybe there's a channel, a radio or something that he can reach you, but his name is not shown. Your relationship matters with the people. When the people gain trust, your trust will now duplicate that limitation in resources. It's not every time money solves every problem. Bring money, after the work next. What is the relationship? And because my time is fast spent, recommendation for improved cooperation, strengthening communication strategy, increased transparency in operation, providing incentives for community participation, and conclusively, I want to reiterate here, conclusively, that the community we operate in should be the lifeline of our operation. Because the communities are our partners in progress. The communities are not our enemies. The communities will not be our enemies. But the community can become our enemies if we don't manage the flow of the process very well. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case here. Thank you very much.
Please put your hands on once again for our facilitator. I respect what we have done today. It's a twist, and you guys responded very well. So put your hands together for yourself. The truth is, even before the lecture, you have answered most of what the lecture was going to deliver. We had a discussion and we said, okay, let's use this strategy. Let's see, even if you didn't participate in the other exercise, capstone exercise, you are forced to participate in this one because